Greetings. I'm Eric Geller, President of the African American Men of Westchester, and I want to thank all of the schools that participated in our 18th annual Business Skills Competition, one of AAMW's cornerstone events. AAMW is a group of men who are dedicated to helping address issues related to education, youth empowerment, domestic violence awareness, and environmental justice. Our goal is to design activities and provide programs that enrich the lives of young people and foster economic development in order to build strong communities that improve the lives of all county residents. After a number of challenging years, 2022 will be AAMW's 35th year of delivering programs of value to Westchester County. We are thankful for the relationship with Morgan Stanley, our partner in executing this event. We also give our heartfelt thanks to our two sponsors, Con Edison and TD Bank. These relationships, combined with the support of the school administrators, has enabled us to engage so many of the county's high schools. The competition involves a graduate school level case requiring the teams to review the material, identify the problem, outline hurdles and obstacles, navigate and formulate a plan for success. Now let me introduce you to Morgan Stanley's Rodney Bolden. Mr. Bolden is a Vice President, Field Engagement Specialist at Morgan Stanley. In this role, worked with corporate directors and financial advisors to introduce Morgan Stanley's financial wellness offerings to their institutional clients. Rodney has served as a financial education consultant for several municipalities. He has also worked with community-based organizations to provide advice and direction on the implementation of the comprehensive financial literacy curriculum. Rodney?
To the African American Men of Westchester Youth Business Skills Competition. My name's Rodney Bolden, and I'm a Vice President of Financial Wellness here at Morgan Stanley. It's so hard to believe that it's the 7th year we're holding this event, and it represents Morgan Stanley's long-standing partnership with the African American Men of Westchester. I started in in the financial wellness industry about 19 years ago. However, I've been in financial services for over 30 years. When I started out, I was the only Black financial advisor in my office. I've seen our industry come a long way, and I'm so excited for the opportunity that you will have during this competition. This competition aligns perfectly with Morgan Stanley's values, which is, first, we want to create the next generation of leaders, both not only within our firm, but also within our industry. Next, it can help you jumpstart your careers, which is important. Career development is of utmost importance here at Morgan Stanley. And Morgan Stanley provides its employees with a variety of tools and resources in order to continue to develop their careers. And lastly, for us, it's so important to build diverse teams, because when teams reflect individuals from all different backgrounds, we know that it leads to business success. There are a few things I hope that you gain as you continue in this competition. First, the spirit of entrepreneurship. Entrepreneurship is the engine that drives this country's business growth. Second, gain some insights into Morgan Stanley's corporate culture. I must say that Morgan Stanley's culture is one of the reasons why I came to the firm just 2 years ago. It will also give you the opportunity to work on real-world business problems and to interact with senior leaders, which I don't need to tell you, but I will. It's so important to have those networking moments, to be able to meet with senior leadership at any given firm, but especially a firm like Morgan Stanley. And by meeting with all sorts of individuals during this competition, it will create opportunities for you to gain new mentors. Mentors can help you to grow your career by providing you with that advice and guidance along the way. I also have some tips for you. First thing, ask a lot of questions. Ask as many questions as you want. Questions are great because that's how you learn. Next, don't be afraid to start up conversations. People want to be approached, especially here at Morgan Stanley, and want to hear what's on your mind. So approach, start the conversation. And don't forget, a lot of people that you will meet over this competition were in your shoes one day, including myself. You know, my favorite quote that I like to use is from Dr. Maya Angelou. And it is, do the best you can until you know better. Then when you know better, do better. Hopefully during this competition, you will learn how to know better so that you can do better. And with that, I say best of luck and make great use of your time during this competition. Thanks.
Hi, I'm Leroy Fraser, an AAMW member. I'm going to give you an overview of this year's competition. Because of the impact of the pandemic, this is the second year we've had the competition conducted virtually for student team discussions, the presentation of the solutions, and the awards broadcast. This year's case was selected from a Harvard Business Review article focused on businesses' implementation of digital solutions. The selected case for evaluation is the 4 pillars of successful digital transformation. Many thanks to the Morgan Stanley facilitators who guided the students during their meetings, and thanks to the distinguished panel of judges provided by both Morgan Stanley and AAMW. Each school created teams of high school juniors and seniors for the competition. The case and case guidelines were distributed to the schools several weeks ago. The teams held 2 two-hour virtual sessions culminating in presentations of their solutions, which were limited to 5 minutes. The presentations were reviewed by the judges and scored on a 5-point scale in 5 categories. Those categories are the identification of issues and analysis of impact, proposed solutions, resourcefulness, and overall presentations. Congratulations to all of the schools that participated in this year's competition. They are Gorton High School, Lincoln High School, New Rochelle High School, Ossining High School, Peekskill High School, Portchester High School, Riverside High School, Roosevelt High School, Saunders Technical and Trade High School, Valhalla High School, White Plains High School, Yonkers Middle School, and Yonkers Montessori High School.
Hello, my name is Namita Kamath-Baxter, and it has been my great honor and privilege to have coordinated this incredible event in partnership with the African American Men of Westchester for the past 5 years. The success of this event is driven in large part by our amazing volunteer facilitators from Morgan Stanley, whose role it is to be a coach and guide to the student teams as they work through preparing the presentation of their solutions to the case study. Over the course of 2 days, the facilitators ensured that the students stayed focused on the tasks at hand and helped them to achieve their objective of constructing a winning presentation. I am happy to recognize this year's facilitators: Bennett Brown, Ed Bucher, Vibor Dave, Dwayne Davison, Avni Dondarora, Carleen Diudon, Rochelle Duncan, Elvin James, David Hersine, Muxina Nurlova, Ola Otegbe, Karuna Reddy Penley, Brianna Perez, Todd Sachs, and Patricia Thomas. Thank you all for your hard work.
I'm Bruce Tolbert, and I'm introducing the judges for this year's competition. The judges will score each presentation based on a 5-point scale under the categories previously mentioned. This year's judges are Norman Drummond. Ms. Drummond is a veteran of Westchester County government for over 30 years and currently serves as Westchester County Planning Commissioner. Stephen Elmore. Mr. Elmore is an Assistant Vice President for Global Sports and Entertainment at Morgan Stanley. The Honorable Ken Jenkins. A past county legislator for 11 years, Mr. Jenkins is currently the Deputy Westchester County Executive. Mr. Tim Lewis, currently Town Attorney for the Town of Greenburgh. Mr. Lewis is President of the Westchester Black Bar Association. Carla Marion. Ms. Marion is the Vice President and Chief Operating Officer of Morgan Stanley's U.S. Banks and Marketing Team. Mr. Marco Ramirez. Mr. Ramirez is Executive Director of Morgan Stanley's VVM Home Office Talent, Diversity and Inclusion Team. The Honorable Lynette Spaulding, an attorney with decades of experience with the Legal Aid Society. Ms. Spaulding is currently a White Plains City Court judge. Ashley Starr. Ms. Starr is a branch analyst with Morgan Stanley, 399 Park Avenue Management Team. On behalf of the African American Men of Westchester, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to all the judges in helping us out this year.
Congratulations to all of the 2022 competition schools. Here are the third place, second place, and first place winning presentations.
I'm here with my fellow teammates, Christian,
I'm Jana, Kiva, Mackenzie, Angela,
Martin, Clevis, and I'm Anthony. Have you ever spent 5 hours or even the whole day waiting in line for the DMV? Have you ever wondered why your state or federal taxes haven't returned in a timely manner? These problems are faced by many Americans due to the U.S. government's technology not being modernized. This creates problems for all people, ranging from teenagers, parents, teachers, and even grandparents. This problem of slow performance has been prevalent in the public sector, while private companies like Apple and Amazon are ahead of their time with their digital technology. The U.S. government is left way behind. But we have a solution to this issue. We as a collective have proposed that improving the government's technology and making it more digital can cause a positive impact to not only these certain issues, but other issues that are faced by Americans. The public sector exists to provide a good to all citizens, but many government agencies are ripe with inefficiencies and are in desperate need of a revamp. Especially during this season, American citizens eagerly await their tax returns as the federal and state governments move at a snail's pace, leaving many anxious about how long it'll take to receive their hard-earned money. Other agencies, like the DMV, are notorious for having extreme wait times and not working as intended. It's clear that updates need to be made. We plan to use IT Uplift to revolutionize how the DMV and IRS run to keep the American voter and taxpayer happy.
So our case sees the application of IT Uplift for the purpose of improving governmental technologies. What this indicates is modernization. We propose an increased budget to better fund expensive software, computers, and revamped websites. Technology training for employees would also fall under this category or principle for IT Uplift. Doing so will allow our public sectors, such as the DMV, to operate more efficiently, which produces better services for people.
The benefits of implementing IT Uplift into our current government would be mainly geared towards taxpayers. In having a more efficient government, taxpayers would be able to receive their tax refund quicker. This would in turn benefit the economy because now people have their money to spend and go out and spend. In these economic times, that's especially important. The efficiency of the voting process would also improve as well, as citizens would be able to cast their votes faster and be able to get the accurate results of an election much quicker. Making the voting process more efficient would also increase the number of people who vote, spurring more involvement in the government, while simultaneously producing a more informed and involved constituency. This IT uplift would help revolutionize public sector, modernizing their systems, processing speed, and security in doing so. But obviously we need people for this. So the main people that we would employ would be IT architects, DevOps engineers, and a new set of managers specializing in this field. Especially people who are well-versed in automation to get their specific abilities to help out.
Some key performance indicators that IT Uplift is working are, of course, shorter lines, a complete elimination of lines at the DMV, faster state and federal tax returns, more efficient running of agencies like the police, firefighters, and sanitation unit. And in the long run, this will cut down on costs and save money for the government and ultimately the taxpayer, generating a surplus that can be used elsewhere.
And finally, taxpayers will be happier in the place they live, attracting more people to areas for local businesses to thrive, which also means that America can see more money being put in and it'll become better for the whole entire country. Ultimately, the only way for the government to make up for its inherent inefficiencies is to have the most cutting-edge technology, on par with the best of the private sector. Utilizing IT Uplift, the American people will have access to the greatest digital infrastructure that money can buy, all while enriching the country. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Alexandra Rosado, and I am joined by Shakti Allo, Ineli Sandoval Silva, Aza Shikapasha, Steven Spoda, Juliet Sylvan, Jordan Williams, and Jenna Xavier, and we're representing Valhalla High School. Despite spending far more on healthcare than other high-income nations, the United States is an outlier in its performance as a healthcare system. While our healthcare systems are set up to complement our capitalist society, above all, it is a service to others. However, it is still marketed, promoted, and consists of a producer-consumer relationship like traditional businesses. With that in mind, there appears to be a lack of outreach and cultural competency regarding marginalized groups, such as Black, Indigenous, people of color, and LGBTQ individuals. In order to improve that, we seek to use digital pivots as a way to rectify some of the issues presented. Can the United States take advantage of the technological boom in order to leverage this disparity of service?
An example of bias in the healthcare system is systemic racism that has lived within the bones of our country since its birth, which plays an undeniable role in the health disparities that BIPOC individuals face. With physicians denying proper treatment and failing to utilize and even procure thorough education regarding the diverse patient population, the healthcare industry continues to suffer. A 2019 Health and Retirement study from PubMed Central found that Black people aged 51 to 55 were 28% more likely to already have a chronic illness compared to white people of the same age, which can be attributed to the lack of access to quality health care. Not only does race affect medical care, when sexual identity/orientation also changes how they are treated within the healthcare system. LGBTQ patients report poor quality of care and unfair treatment. Reports from the National LGBTQ Task Force show that 50% of queer patients have to teach their health providers about trans health care due to lack of education among healthcare professionals. The impact of poor treatment towards queer patients results in declined health and discourages patients from seeking medical attention in the future.
Considering all the healthcare inequities existing for those of the BIPOC and queer communities, digitizing operations have the potential to address these injustices. Tools as simple as phone apps can save money and allow for constant monitoring of conditions, acting as a convenient means of patient tracking for both patients and physicians. With COVID, we have seen a skyrocketing increase in the medical world's reliance on the telehealth app. Seeing its success, we can try allocating telehealth to serve those marginalized groups. Nearly all operations common in the physical doctor's office can be easily digitized, including virtual visits, data keeping of important measurements, and the reception of vital treatments. Using telehealth in this fashion can therefore make good healthcare easily accessible to BIPOC and LGBTQ individuals who live in areas with uninformed health professionals. We must work to educate on such treatment.
A study conducted by the CDC concluded that human behavior accounts for 40% of the risk associated with preventable deaths. Rather than a refusal to change behaviors, the primary reason for this correlation is a lack of health literacy within the public. To combat this disparity, health professionals can hold appointments to discuss health conditions. The flaw within this plan is that it favors those with higher economic status, and health professionals may often dismiss individuals and/or what they're saying due to their race. As of 2020, there were an estimated 6.4 billion smartphone subscriptions worldwide. Rather than spending money arranging in-person meetings, the best way to reach a wider audience is through an app available on all cell phones that caters to specific patient needs.
Another pillar of digital transformation is an IT uplift. Upgrading digital equipment will make it so that less maintenance is required, customer satisfaction increases, and healthcare operations run more efficiently. Currently, user-unfriendly interfaces are often too cluttered for health professionals to navigate. These issues are especially damaging when individuals have complex or non-stereotypical medical records, such as LGBTQ patients. Inaccessible medical records filled with cultural incompetence is making it virtually impossible to treat these patients. A way to rectify some of the IT issues is to adopt the use of cloud-based electronic records so that information for their patients is easily accessible.
Even though digitizing operations and new ventures are important to optimize outreach, we think digital marketing is going to be the most effective tool for improving the healthcare industry for marginalized identities. Most users start their searches at Google, so it is important to create tags with keywords, write informative descriptions, and create strategic HTML titles. By creating an efficient search engine optimization system, hospitals can stay connected with current and future patients, improve patient and physician engagement, retention, and in-network utilization. According to the Pew Internet and American Life Project, approximately 80% of internet users have searched for health-related topics online. Thus, marketing on digital platforms is essential to reach target audiences. Using keywords such as Black Lives Matter or Latinx on their online platforms will help reach out to marginalized communities. Additionally, cookies, which are pieces of data that are stored within the web browser that can be retrieved at a later time, can help find patients in these communities who are searching for specific issues which the facility's resources can assist in. Physicians can also use the data to access the demographics of the individuals they are providing assistance to and educate themselves before appointments to improve trust with their patients.
Spreading awareness combining healthcare with technology has the potential to increase health literacy worldwide. By expanding healthcare information across the internet, marginalized groups that would otherwise avoid in-person healthcare can receive medical information and guidance online. Increasing customer satisfaction will result in long-term profit, and implementing healthcare resources that are already everyday ventures, such as smartphone apps or website browsers, can help make healthcare more encompassing and beneficial for all. Thank you.
Hello, we are representing Pisco High School in this year's business skills competition. My name is Ariana Okoff and I'm a sophomore.
My name is Janira Martinez. I am also a sophomore.
My name is Kimberly Albrecht and I'm a senior.
My name is Alexis Fernandez and I'm a junior.
My name is Violet Bader and I'm a junior.
And my name is Jonas Stavros and I'm also a junior.
Hello everyone. For this year's business competition, the Pisco High School team chose the public sector, and specifically public transportation. In 2019, Americans took 9.9 billion trips on public transportation. So in understanding its scope, we recognize that while there are systems in place currently, there is still room for improvement. Current problems include lack of safety, sanitation with countless bacteria, accessibility with people who have disabilities, and difficulty in finding parking and knowing where stations are. Thus, we chose digitizing operations because it allows transit to become more efficient, accessible, and environmentally friendly. Technology is the future, which makes digital tools to optimize what's already existing rational. Thus, we propose 3 digitized solutions to solve the problems plaguing the public transportation system. The first proposed solution will be presented by Janira, who will be discussing a digitized Metro card.
Thank you, Ariana. I will be presenting the digitizing of the Metro card. According to the Metropolitan Transportation Authority, in 2020, the New York City subway had a daily ridership of 2 million and an annual of about 640 million, in which you need a Metro card to ride since May 2003. A student who attends school in the city commutes to the subway Monday through Friday, and her opinion is, quote, yes, that would be a lot more convenient since people could make digital payments to refill their cards. Digitalization of the Metro card would be through creating an app that could be downloaded on smartphones, and rather than swiping a plastic Metro card, this version could be scanned on a computerized system. It would also have a security ID system to aid law enforcement to track activity and prevent tragic events such as the recent Brooklyn subway shooting. It would be similar to an Easy Pass, an all-in-one app that would contain maps, subway times, and paying. Unlike the existing multiple privately owned apps. Saved money from reducing said plastic could allow for the switch of plastic Metro cards to plant-based biodegradable ones for those that do not have a device, an inclusive hybridized Metro card system that would ultimately benefit the MTA economically. And now my teammate Kim will be presenting digitizing of sanitization and parking.
Thank you, Janir, for that lovely introduction. Any driver knows that the most dreadful part of driving is looking for parking. The solution to such an issue is through the incorporation of a mobile app. The app would use sensors located at the entrance and exit of a parking level floor and each individual parking spot. Now, what the app would do is it would let the driver know the number of cars currently looking for parking and the number of spots left for use. The app would result in a less time-consuming search for parking, a reduction in gas waste, and lower the number of car accidents in parking garages because of the reduced congestion of cars. We acknowledge that the immediate cost of Installing such technology might outweigh the financial benefits at first, but starting a $1 fee to download the app and an annual fee of $1 in addition to already existing parking fees would serve as a way to alleviate the financial strain caused by digitizing parking garages. It would specifically cater to disadvantaged groups without access to smartphones or even credit cards by installing a central hub located at the base of each parking garage. Now, in addition to the issues present in the parking industry, another major obstacle in public transportation is its overall lack of cleanliness. High traffic makes public transportation home to countless bacteria, to which my teammates and I came up with a hybridized system that incorporates both the use of digital technology and protecting jobs. An AI robot would work during the off hours of rush hour to ensure that all necessary sanitation requirements are met. We'd retrain sanitation workers for a new skill set in creating the software and its upkeep to act as a barrier against any major losses in job occupations. We would also have employees available to give directions on how to use the app and also inform people with disabilities on where to go and any other relevant information. This is necessary given the lack of audible or visual notices informing the public of any schedule changes. Now my teammate Ariana will conclude with our final remarks.
Thank you, Kimberly. We recognize the various hurdles to public transportation, the wealth gap, the funding required to implement infrastructure, and the public reaction to a more digitized world, among others. However, we tailored our solutions to fit the situation. The digital MetroCard will be hybridized to accommodate those who are economically disadvantaged while being environmentally conscious, thus keeping things safe and effective. The AI sanitation robot will work during off hours. Instead of leading to unemployment, we will retain people's skill sets. And lastly, the parking spot app. It will bring an increase in revenue and ease for commuters. Thus, despite all these hurdles, the benefits not only outweigh the costs, but it's also important to note the ease of implementation. Within a logical time frame, the 5 boroughs would set a precedent of how technology can be optimized to benefit society, and soon the nation will reap its benefits. After all, there is a moral obligation to use technology to amplify the human experience for not only us, but for our posterity. Thank you once again for your time.
Our closing remarks will be delivered by Millie Guzman of Morgan Stanley. Ms. Guzman is an executive director and the head of communications and training for wealth management compliance. She currently co-chairs the firm's Latino Employment Network. Since joining the firm in 2013, Millie leads a team committed to commercially aligning business objectives with regulatory expectations, is responsible for the development and delivery of compliance training engagement to approximately 22,000 licensed employees in the wealth management division. Millie?
Hi, my name is Millie Guzman. Thank you for participating in this year's AAMW's Youth Business Skills Competition. You all worked so hard on your digital transformation presentation, and the results show. Very impressive results. Though this was not a real-life scenario, the goal of this exercise is to expose you to problem-solving skills, teamwork, and building solutions that adapt to the ever-changing world. For our colleagues at Morgan Stanley, it was fascinating to see the many different perspectives you shared. These perspectives lend themselves to solving problems and providing solutions in multiple ways. We don't succeed in a vacuum. It takes teamwork to make dreams work and to make companies such as Morgan Stanley successful. I've been in Morgan Stanley for 9 years. I sit in compliance where I support the wealth management business. In my role, I provide solutions in the form of training and communication. I'm also the firm's co-chair of the Latino Employee Network. One of the things that I appreciate the most about Morgan Stanley is the culture and its access to senior leaders from across the firm. I hope you come away with the new connections that you can tap into for future reference. I also hope that you come away with a good sense of whether you would like to pursue a role in our business. As you proceed in your academic career, maintain the relationships you've created with our facilitators. Continue the conversations and keep asking them questions. This can help inform your future goals. More importantly, take a moment to self-reflect what you did enjoy about the work. Sometimes knowing what you don't like can be just as valuable as identify what you've enjoyed. The guiding principles of Morgan Stanley is our core values. In 2020, the firm adopted the core value of commitment to diversity and inclusion, with the goal of making Morgan Stanley the firm of choice for all diverse communities. We've also created an Institute for Inclusion that is meeting diverse communities at every stage of their education, so we are at the forefront of developing the future generations of entrepreneurs. We want to thank you for being a part of this year's competition. We hope to see you again at the firm. Thanks again, and stay well.
Hi, I'm Bernie Toms, chairman of the African American Men of Westchester's Business Skill Competition. Surprisingly, the Business Skill Competition has provided this activity for over 2,500 students over the past 20 years that we've had the competition. We, at the African American Men of Westchester, appreciate the support of our partners, Morgan Stanley and their leadership team, Namita Kamath and Miguel Mendez, and the support of Con Edison and TD Bank with our competition event. A special thanks goes to the participants, the students, the school administrators, the judges, and the African American Men of Westchester, and also to those who participated as monitors of the event: Tom Grayman, Bruce Tolbert, Kevin Moore, Only Reynolds, Anthony Epps, and Herb Jameson, and our event planner, Andrea Reed. We'd like to thank them for all of their support and help in making this a great event this year. Thanks to all, and we'll see you next year, hopefully in person.